Hey, true champions of the cause, I'm your host, Trini. Welcome to Starplanet's Manga Subterranea, the show where we shine a light on the hidden, darker masterpieces from Japan that most of us never even knew existed. If you're into obscure underground manga that's almost impossible to find, this is the place for you. Now, on this episode, we're diving deep into a mysterious group of creators who thrive in the shadows. Literally. These artists are like a secret society, tucked away in their own little dark web corner, creating mini manga that are part art, part scavenger hunt. Imagine this. Their works aren't sold in stores or promoted online. Instead, they leave them scattered in random spots across Japan. Bus stops, public restrooms, library books, and even inside Uber Eats deliveries. Seriously. How wild is that? The group is called Hatsupi Iwiru Kuru, or the Happy Evil Crew. Since 2006, they've been stealthily sharing their stories in the most unexpected places. And unless you're incredibly lucky, you'd never know they existed. But today, I'm here to pull back the curtain on this fascinating underground movement. We're talking about where they came from, what makes them tick, and most excitingly, I'll break down some of their stories for you. Let's kick things off with the group's founder, a mangaka who goes by the name Rat. Now, I know you're already wondering, why Rat? Well, he's really into the music genre neo-trash. So he's a rat.
I get it.
So who is Rat? And his story is just as raw and unfiltered as his name suggests. Honestly, there's not much known about Rat beyond what he's shared in his forum bio. But here's what I can tell you. Rat grew up with a love for anime and manga, dreaming of becoming a mangaka. In high school, he joined a manga club and started honing his craft. Around the same time, he discovered punk and hardcore music, and bam, his worldview shifted. He finally felt like he'd found his people. Rat didn't stop drawing after school. Determined to make it as a mangaka, he entered contests and submitted his work to publishers. He also took a job at a local bar and started going to underground punk shows, discovering bands like Melt Banana and The Locust. It was through these connections that he stumbled upon the dark web music scene of neo-trash and hackcore, an extreme niche music movement with chaotic sounds and rough DIY aesthetics. He was hooked. Rat's artistic evolution inspired by neo-trash album art. Think the Ghost Computer's I Am the Black Box, or This Killed John Bonet's Humanity, Human Cattle. Rat shifted to a scratchier, rawer art style. He joined the online neo-trash hub Reflex Point and became part of the group Violent Tango, where he shared his sketches and gained a small following for his visual diary of neo-trash shows. The reception was so positive that Rat decided to create his own invite-only forum. There, he started posting illustrated short stories. Soon others joined in, and what began as a solo project turned into a collective of 20 artists, all rooted in the neo-trash community. The birth of the Happy Evil Crew. Now here's where things get next level. Rat noticed the neo-trash logo, appearing as graffiti and stickers around Tokyo. Inspired, he started printing mini versions of his manga at home and leaving them in random places around the city. The kicker? He didn't tell his forum about it, but soon, people in his community began finding these mini comics and posting about them online. Then one day, Rat himself stumbled across another artist's mini comic while flipping through a manga in a store. That discovery cemented the group's modus operandi. A decentralized underground movement where creators could share their work in the most unconventional ways possible. And thus, the Happy Evil Crew was born. Now, Rat's storytelling is raw, emotional, and unapologetically punk. He doesn't title his stories. Each release is simply named RAT and numbered. So today we're diving into Rat number 1. I'll break it down for you, translate the key moments, and even give you a dramatic retelling. But before we jump in, I want to give a huge shout out to Mookie for helping me dig into this rabbit hole. If you love what we're doing here, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates. All right, let's dive into the twisted world of Rat and the Happy Evil Crew. All right, let's break down the eerie opening of Rat number 1, because this is where Rat's talent for blending unsettling narratives with his scratchy, chaotic art style really shines. First off, the story is printed on striking red paper, a bold choice that immediately sets the tone. And trust me, by the end, you'll realize it's no random decision. The color means something. The opening scene. So, the story kicks off with a man, unnamed, mysterious, waking up in this absolutely disgusting hospital bed. Right away, Rat plunges us into confusion and discomfort, and his art amplifies this. The man's wearing a wrinkled white collared shirt. He's clearly been through something, but we're left guessing. Rat's scratchy line work is front and center from the first panel. It's messy, it's imperfect, but it's intentional. There are ink splotches and stains scattered across the page, and they don't feel like mistakes. They're deliberate accents that heighten the chaos. It's almost like the pages themselves have been through some trauma. It's chaotic, but it's also deliberate, like Rat is saying, yeah, I can draw clean, but I choose not to. The guy sits up and we see the room he's in, a dark, grimy mess. The atmosphere is oppressive, but it's also captivating. Slowly, he gets out of bed and we're hit with this stunning long shot of the entire room from the ceiling. This panel is a game changer. It shows that Rat isn't just messing around with the rough neo-trash aesthetic. He's a legit artist who knows how to compose a scene. The perspective, the details, it's all there. He's not hiding mistakes. He's owning his style and making it his signature. The man makes his way to the hospital door and steps into the hallway. And here's where Rat's horror loves start creeping in. This hallway panel? Chef's kiss. The perspective, the dim lighting, and the sheer emptiness, it's dripping with that unsettling horror movie vibe. You can practically hear the flicker of dying fluorescent lights. As the man walks down the corridor, he passes a large set of double doors. And here's where things start to get weird. If you look closely behind him, something is following him. It's clearly highlighted, just a faint shadow, a shape in the distance, but it's enough to make you uneasy. Rat is already playing with your sense of safety. Finally, the man reaches a door and steps outside, leaving the hospital. But you can't shake the feeling that whatever was in that hallway didn't stay behind. After the man leaves the hospital, we're hit with another breathtaking panel that really showcases Rat's abilities. It's this high-angled shot of the man stepping out into the street, and the detail just pulls you right in. The city around him is completely empty. No people, no movement, just silence. And yet, you can't shake the feeling that the city itself is alive somehow. As the man starts walking through this abandoned city, you realize he's not alone. The dark entity from earlier? Yeah, it's still there being all creepy and stuff behind him. And the way Rat draws this is just chef's kiss. The panels showing the entity are wild, chaotic, and dripping with menace. The borders around each panel, they're not clean or polished. They're a chaotic scribble, like frustration and madness trapped in ink. It's so perfectly Rat. Then the man stops. You can tell he senses something following him. Slowly he turns around and bam! We see his eyes for the first time. No pupils, just this evil, piercing stare. This panel hit me hard, and I can't get over how perfectly Rat captured this moment. It's unsettling in the best way. The man and the entity lock eyes, and the tension is off the charts. The shot of him locking eyes with the entity is so simple but so powerful. Then Rat hits us with a full-page spread. The entity front and center, with this scratchy, evil grin and devil horns. It's terrifying, but it's also fascinating. And here's the detail that's got me scratching my head. There's a heart on the entity's chest. What does it mean? Is it irony? A deeper message? I honestly don't know, but I'd love to hear your theories in the comments. The backdrop of this page is equally amazing. The city is scribbled in a way that makes it look like the world is warping around the entity, as if its very presence distorts reality. You're not just looking at a monster, you're seeing the world crumble around it. But then we get to the final page, and oh man, this is where Rat proves he's a master of less is more storytelling. The page is minimalist, mostly blank space. In the bottom right corner, there's a small illustration of the man, and above him, the only text in the entire story. The text is scratchy and twisted, like something you'd find in a cursed object in a horror movie. The Japanese is flipped, while the English is upside down, adding to the unsettling vibe. The Japanese text translates roughly to, "Nice place you have here, Satan." And the English? "Do you mind if I stay?" It's creepy. It's sinister. It's perfect. And that, true champions of the cause, is where this story ends. Let that sink in for a second. Imagine stumbling across this little red book in some random place. Imagine this. You're at a bar, it's late, you've had a few too many drinks. You duck into a public bathroom, sit down, and find this little red book taped to the stall door. You flip through it, see this ominous art, and then end on, "Nice place you have here, Satan. Do you mind if I stay?" Just as you hear footsteps and the bathroom door creaks open. Chills, right? So, that's Rat number 1. I love how Rat's storytelling doesn't just give you a narrative, it pulls you into a whole mood. It's haunting, it's raw, and it's unforgettable. Alright, that wraps up my first episode of Starplanet Manga Subterranea. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Rat's twisted little world. If you did, you know the drill. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more obscure and dark manga content. And hey, don't forget to check out Starplanet Darkside, where Rookie introduces us to wild anime and cartoons from across the multiverse. Until next time, true champions of the cause, I've been your host, Trini, and this has been Starplanet Manga Subterranea. Stay unique, stay cool, and stay weird. Bye, everyone!